Okay, what we've got here is the servo, the model of the servo. So we need something that is going to mount to these lugs and probably space the servo off the base a little bit and just hold it steady while the finger is able to move up and down. Now, if you remember back, this is the idea I had. The servo sits in the middle here and the two lugs on the side of the servo screw down onto those two flat surfaces, something like I've got in this sketch here. And then obviously the servo, the arm and the mount all mount onto the board. So if we have a look at, you've got some measurements here, but what you would need to do, you can either write down the measurements from the website, or remember, if we go to measure, I can measure any of these lines. So I can find the size of any of these unique lines. So the size is here at 20. If I wanted to know how far it was from, click away from this surface to this surface, it gives me that distance between the two of them in the middle here. Sometimes you've got to turn it around to see it a little bit clearer. 21 millimeters. I know that distance. I need to know the distance between these two flats to fit in. And probably that's about all I need off here. But what you would do is gather some measurements off the servo here, or alternately take it from the website information. All of the sizes here are all accurate. Okay, so what we need to do next is to get rid of this. Now I know the width of that is 23, so just quickly get that again. 22, so 23 will give me a little bit of clearance. The distance from the outside of that horn to the outside of that horn. Do that again, a dot there and a dot there. Total length there is 32 millimeters. Okay, so I need total width of 32 millimeters, and I need a gap between these two of 23. The length of this side, let's click away. Length of that side is 20, so that's the length I need here. Probably wouldn't hurt to have this sort of mounted on the end, so let's just have a quick look at that. First thing we need to do is a new. That gives me new. If I don't have this open, I click on that, and the first thing I'm going to do is save. So I'm going to go servo, holder, enter. Now that first sketch is just going to be straight on the ground, and I hit R, and I know from my sizes in here, let's go back to that, a distance of 30 and 36 I had originally. The horns were only 32 wide, so 32 would be better. And the distance from the top of that surface to the end was 21. So add another probably 3 millimeters on the top there, so 24 long by 32 wide is what I'm going to do. So let's go back to here, R, click. I'm going to go 32, tab, 24, click enter. Sketch is fine. Extrude. Now the base of it, I'll probably extrude that up 5 millimeters. Give it a little bit of clearance off the ground, so I go okay to that. And then what I need is this shape. I need that sort of T shape, or if you like an L shape just here. 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters, 10 mil long, and I need a gap in the middle of 23. So let's just have a quick look at that. How we get that. I'm sketching on the top here. I go to sketch, and all I'm going to draw, I had a distance here. I'm going to go L for line tool. I'm going to draw a line right across lock it onto both sides, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to go D. I want a distance between there and there of 3 millimeters. And then I'm going to go line tool, right the way across again, D, distance between those two of 3 millimeters. No, 2, sorry. 2, because I wanted the wall thickness to that to be 2. And then I wanted an L shape. So I've got to have an L here and an L here and a gap of 23 between them. So the easiest way, I had 32. 32 minus, let's just do a quick calculation on my phone. 32 minus 23 equals 9 divided by 2. 4.5. I'm going to draw 2 more lines. I'm going to go line tool from top to bottom. And I'm going to draw another line from top to bottom. I'm going to go dimension between there and there, 4.5. I want a dimension between that one and that one, again at 4.5. And then I need another line here, the 2 mil wide. There's the part of my L. I need the L shape here. So let's put one more line in here. Let's put a series of lines in here first. Seems like a lot of lines, but it's going to make it much easier to keep this all accurate and neat. That one's 2. The gap between these two is 2. And I know the length down here, I want about 10 millimeters from the top to the bottom here. So again, another line and a dimension between that line and that one of 10. Maybe, actually 8 I might make that, I think, a little bit smaller. That's the shape I want there, and that one. So we go OK to that, all the dimensions are there. Go back to the house. Now I need to hit E for extrude. I want that piece, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. I extrude up. The thickness of the servo was 12 millimeters. There's the 2 little towers that were on the side here. A little bit different in proportion, but that's the shape I'm after. I need to make sure I've got a distance between these two, so let's just quickly check a measurement between that point and that point. 23 millimeters, perfect. The holes on the side, what we'll use is drill that from the side later when the servo's on, because it's very tight in that corner. But I will need to mount this down onto the board that I'm going to do, so I'm going to need a hole here and there. And sometimes I prefer to have a fillet just there and there. No, not that one. Only small, probably 2 mil. Just something to strengthen it so that you couldn't push back on these tabs and break them. I'm going to click on the surface here. I need to create 2 holes, so I'm going to hit C for hole. Again, I'm going to put a line across, and that's going to be where I mount, D for that. I'm going to go distance between that line and that one. It's locked onto this point here, so let's just undo what we've just done, or get rid of this. Delete that one. Put a dimension between that line and that one, and I'm going to say 10 to that. That gives me a line that both circles are on. If I go C, and I click here, and I go 3, enter, enter, and I go circle, 3, enter, enter. The only thing I haven't got at the moment, I haven't got it positioned very well on there. So let's say dimension between center and this line. Let's say kind of at that close to the edge. Let's go 1 point, let's go 2 mil. And on this one the same, dimension, edge, 2 millimeters. And you'll notice that that overlaps there. I'm going to make that little round in the corner a bit smaller, so let's just go okay to that. Back to the house again. I'm going to go back to my round in the corner. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to make it just 1 mil, or 1.5 might be better. Okay, just misses my circles. I'm going to extrude those holes, so I go E on that circle and that circle. Click on the halves that you want. Drag right through, so you're well and truly through, and click OK. There's my mount. That's my servo mount. And while we're at it, we might just position that servo in there too. So let's go save. I've got my servo here, so let's go back. Remember, I need to close everything. I need to go new. I'm going to go servo dash holder. Click OK. Opposite mouse click on the holder. Bring into current view. This one that comes in, all I need to do is just leave it exactly where it is and click hold. Remember, opposite mouse click ground to lock it in place. Little tack appears here. Go down to my servo, opposite mouse click, insert into current view. Okay, now obviously you can't put it in that way. Let's turn it over. If I move the mouse slowly up and down until I get 90, I don't have to worry about typing anything. And probably just move it again somewhere over in the top here where I can see the space and go OK. And then join that surface. Click on the next component, which is select. Move the model around. I want this surface here. Something hasn't worked there. Let's just go. That one's selected. It wants to select that one. I'm just going to delete those so I've got nothing selected. I'm going to click on that surface and that surface. Moves into place. You'll notice that it's actually below the surface, so somewhere, I don't want it below. I probably want a little gap, that's very close to where it would sit. Everything looks pretty good there. I can mount that in place. Pretty happy with that. Click OK. Click Little House. Okay, there I've got my servo screwed onto the mount, onto the holder, and I've got a way of bolting this down onto the main platform to hold these arms in place. Save it. Click OK. You should see it saving up the top here, which it is. And next part done.